Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and again, thank you for your service. It has been a real privilege to serve with you and with Ranking Member Crapo. Thank you for being here, Chairman Watt. I want to return to an issue that Senator Menendez raised, and that is, as you know, 5 million families lost their homes during the financial crisis, and millions more are still struggling. According to the latest data from CoreLogic, a leading housing market research firm, another 5.3 million homeowners remain underwater on their homes, and people are continuing to lose their homes every day in foreclosure. Now, we talk a little bit about the law here. One of your duties under the law is to preserve and conserve the assets of Fannie and Freddie. But another duty given equal importance by Congress, and I'm reading from the law here, is to implement a plan that seeks to maximize assistance for homeowners and take advantage of available programs to minimize foreclosures. Congress explicitly included reduction of loan principal as an option for your agency to pursue. Principal reduction is often a win-win that both helps Fannie and Freddie and helps a family. A 2013 CBO study, for example, found that even a modest principal reduction plan for Fannie and Freddie mortgages could help 1.2 million underwater homeowners prevent 43,000 defaults and save Fannie and Freddie about $2.8 billion. The Treasury Department has found that principal reductions could save Fannie and Freddie nearly $4 billion and help 500,000 homeowners stay in their home. It has been 6 years since Congress created FHFA, and in all that time, your agency has never, not once, permitted a family to reduce its principal mortgage through Fannie or Freddie. I've asked about this repeatedly, and you've said you'd look into allowing Fannie and Freddie to engage in principal reduction. You said it again today. You've been in office for nearly a year now, and you haven't helped a single family, not even one, by agreeing to a principal reduction. So I want to know why this has not been a priority for you. The data are there.
It's probably an overstatement, Senator Warren, to say it's not been a priority. It has been a priority. It's just a very difficult issue, and the reason it's difficult is because we are looking for exactly what you said, which is a win-win situation.
Well, forgive me, though.
So we have to do this in a way that is responsible. Otherwise, we just reduce principal for everybody across the board. Is not what anybody, I think, is advocating for. So then we have to decide, okay, what is a responsible
Chairman
way
Watt,
to do
you have had a year to do that. You've known for 5 years before that what the problem was. We have 2 studies coming out showing that Fannie and Freddie could make money by doing this, one from the Treasury Department and one from the CBO. I'm not even talking about all the private studies on this. In the meantime, during this year, you've done the reps and warranties policy, you've done the buyback policy, you've done private mortgage insurance rules, you've done a whole list of really tough technical things, and I applaud you for doing that. But people have lost their homes in the last year, and every day that you delay, more families lose their homes. There are 5.4 million families out there underwater. So I want to know, when are you going to have an answer on this one?
We're going to have the answer sooner. It won't be as long as it has been. Let me put it that way. How
many more people have to lose their homes?
I can't take responsibility for what decisions were made in the first 5 years. I can't take responsibility for what decisions are made in the last year. And it's not a year yet, but I think we're getting closer to, and we are doing some things that really may not call themselves principal reduction, but we are giving a lot more flexibility through the Neighborhood Stabilization Initiative.
But they are not principal reductions. So let's just be
They are principal reduction. If we facilitate the transfer of loans to other entities that do principal reduction and allow them to do principal reduction, that is principal reduction. It is not across the board principal reduction.
Indeed, how many families has it affected?
It has affected a number of
we've got
families.
5.4 million families outstanding with underwater loans. And we've got 2 principal studies now showing what would happen if Fannie and Freddie would engage in principal reduction. I just want to add one more point before I quit here, because I want to follow up on Senator Brown's concerns about pursuing people for deficiency judgments when they can't pay. And you've said this is something you're looking at, and again, I'm glad to hear that. But there's already been a study on this. According to an FHFA Inspector General's report from October of 2012, in 2011, Fannie and Freddie pursued about 35,000 borrowers who collectively had an unpaid balance of $2.1 billion. Do you know how much they recovered? Do you know?
I know what the Inspector General says, but I think you're not looking at the bottom line of what the Inspector General said. The Inspector General says we should be pursuing more of these rather than less of them.
Well, what he says is that...
And that's the dilemma we're in. We're trying to figure out which ones make sense and which ones don't make sense, and that's the evaluation that we're doing.
Well, let's just look at his numbers. Yeah. His numbers are, out of that $2.1 billion, you managed to collect $4.7 million. That's less than 1/4% of the amount you went after families and hammered on them for, and that's before you account for the expenses of the collection. This is not a program that is producing money for Fannie and Freddie, but it is certainly imposing a lot of pain on families that have already lost their homes, that families that have already been caught in bad mortgages, caught with robo-signing. This looks like a program to me that you don't need to spend another year on. It's a program that needs to be severely cut back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry for going over.